Oh! Ah! Ooh! What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming one more time. My name is Underbelly. This is the fourth live stream. Today, a bunch of you had questions about arranging fully finished songs, so taking that 4/8 16-bar loop into something that actually has some sort of structure and pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the usual exercise where I ask you guys to send me samples to my email, djunderbelly@gmail.com. And instead of only having 10 minutes to create a beat, I'm going to give myself 20 to create a nice loop, and then also put it into Live's arrangement view, and therefore I can show you a couple arrangement techniques to kind of get the shit going. So please send samples over to DJ Underbelly. Oh, my voice just killed itself. Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, guys? How about now? How's the sound now? Okay, good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so what I was saying was, please send samples over to djunderbelly@gmail.com. I'm going to create a beat out of the samples. I'm going to give myself 20 minutes this time to create the beat, not only to construct the loop, but also arrange it into a fully finished song. So please send those samples over to djunderbelly@gmail.com, and then we will get started. All right, party people. Does that sound good? Okay, so I'm gonna open up my email right now. I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna pick the first sample or two. Let's see what we got going on here. Holy cock! Holy cock! Holy cock! Holy cock! Okay. So I'm gonna pick this. What was that? Okay, nobody sent me any samples. Send me some samples, party people. What the heck? Anybody got any samples? My email is djunderbelly@gmail.com. Send me some samples, brothers. Come on, guys. There we go. All right, Oscar, you're first up. Strings like. Let's download this shit. I'm just gonna download that, and then let's see what else we got. Chris Rich. It's a YouTube sample. I'm not gonna fuck with that. Let's do Pineapple Express Nickel Frit. That sounds appealing. So I'm gonna start a timer right now, for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna see what we can construct out of the strings like sample. First, it might suck, but that's okay. You know, we're here to learn. We're here to experiment. You know, as Uncle Joe has always said. All right, so can you guys hear my Ableton shit? I'm gonna turn myself down. Guys hear? Oh, I recorded myself. All right, so let's go ahead and open up strings like. What do we got here? Okay. Yeah, that works for me. Let's do that. All right. Oh, that didn't work. Why is it not letting me? Looks like there's some rendering issues. That's unfortunate. Hello? Hello? What the heck is going on here? That's not good. Once again, it seems like we're running into some technical difficulties, but it's all good, party people. Um, let's go ahead and try that one more time. Looks like the string sample is not cooperating. I'm gonna try the other sample, Pineapple Express Nickel Frit. All right, that'll do. Let's put that in there, and then let's also. I really liked the strings like sample. I'm just gonna try recording myself doing that. So let's go ahead and change my master output to the multi-output device, and then we're going to change this to the Soundflower 2 channel. I'm going to start recording the strings like sample. There it comes. Okay. Alright. So we should be recording that successfully. Let's see what other samples you guys sent me. Bum 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 bum. Akshay, don't know that. Linus, them samples. Thank you so much. You guys are great. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and drop that into Ableton. That didn't work. Once again. So I'm gonna export this. Strings. And then let's see what other samples you guys sent me. Uncle Joe, that sounds promising. Okay, so that's already a beat. I don't sample other people's beats. Let's keep going here. Glover. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Found that. Copy that over, and then I'm also gonna drop the strings in there. Let's see if the strings work this time. Okay. So we should be getting that. All right. Okay. Let's drop that in there. Turn down the volume. Oh shit. Let's turn down the BPM here a little bit. Why is it flipping there? How's my audio, guys? Can you hear me? Alright, that's a semi-decent loop. I'm going to go ahead and start arranging this into the arrangement view here. So let's just go ahead and copy paste everything over. And I'm just going to hit the back to arrangement button. We're just going to decide what we want to start off with. So it's probably going to be the strings. I usually start with the original sample I build the beat off of. So let's go ahead and do that right there real quick. So let's go ahead and take a copy of this clip here, and we're just going to do the good old-fashioned intro there. Maybe have some Pineapple Express action here. there, in the beginning at least. And maybe let's just drop the drums out for just a second before the bass comes in. Alright. Let's hear that one more time from the top. It's good to hear your arrangement back to yourself. Well, let's actually go ahead and we're gonna filter this sample up because it's just kind of annoying right at the beginning there. So let's go ahead and automate the filter cutoff. This is another technique I use a lot for my intros. Maybe if we wanted to make the silence more extreme, we could just cut everything there. Yeah, boy. Ho 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 ho! Alright. So good to be in school for my ladies. Maybe add a little grain delay. Right here, we're just gonna start sending. Oh boy. Yeah, that's that shit. And then maybe right here, we wanted a bit of a key change to happen. So let's go ahead and actually change the bass note around here. So we're going to go to the relative minor. So you notice that we start off with A minor, so we're in the key of actually A major, sorry. And then we go to the relative minor, which is 3 half steps down, which in this case is F sharp. So 3 half steps down from A. So we have A, then A flat, 1 half step, A flat to G, 2 half steps, G to F sharp, 3 half steps. Beautiful. Right. So great. Maybe another one for the road. And then maybe let's just break it down right there. You feel me? So let's go ahead and I'm gonna replace. Right. And then we're actually just gonna filter back down on the filter cutoff of that annoying ass synth in the front there. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to automate that real quick. And I want some more pineapple right here. Maybe let's turn down the ping pong delay there. That was emotional right there. I'm crying right now. And let's fade that shit out. Wowzers. Okay, so we just created the 80s anthem of the decade, dude. Wowzers. So that really makes me feel good about myself. I'm gonna go ahead and save and export this. And then it's going to be 80s anthem for life. And then we're just going to, let's just move on. Let's start creating another beat from scratch. So let's go ahead and let's see what else we got here. Sample please, Metro. I'm just going to download this. I'm just going to download a fuck ton of other samples. By the way, if you guys are bored of this, you can go ahead. I'm pretty sure Sam Gellatree is live streaming right now as well. I was going to check that out. But maybe you want to hang out with me, your boy, your boy. Is my vocal still working? Wowzers! So that's really nice. Might be a bit loud. I'm gonna turn myself down a little bit. Okay, that's good. I fuck with that. Let's go ahead and drop that in there. I'm gonna reset the timer because we didn't actually make it to 20 minutes last time, which is quite all right. We don't need 20 minutes, all right, to create the 80s banger of the century. So I'm gonna start one more time. 20 minutes. Okay, here we go. Guitar harmonics. Let's do it. So it looks like it's already warped. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and add some drums. I'm going to use the exact same drums I always do. Because I'm a cuck. I'm a cuck, guys. Shout out to J-Rob for providing me with these samples. He's an amazing producer. If you haven't checked him out, he's on Selection. He just released his white label there. So I'm going to go ahead and do kind of a lo-fi thing here. Let's actually turn up the BPM there. And let's actually make this stereo kick. Let's have a little bit of a blanket here. Where's my blanket? Oh yeah, John, no. Joe, no. Side 2. Paul Horn, that's my guy. Paul. It wasn't John, it wasn't Ringo, it was Paul. Come on, Paul. Don't crash on me. There we go. And now let's see if we can actually create a copy of that same clip, and we're just gonna pitch. So let's try it. So let's go ahead and just record a simple bass. Ooh, dude, what the heck? The flute from Paul Horn was in key with that. Let's keep that going. That's incredible. Serendipity. So it looks like this is a bit out of tune. Usually tuned by ear. Sometimes it's useful to add a tuner plugin to the sample and see what's going on there. So as we can see, the tuner is telling us this is a little bit flat, a little bit below G. So what we're going to do is we're going to tune our bass so that it's also a little bit flat, which we've done. A little bit. Oh wow, we're just all in the jungle together. How about a nice cup of tea? Let's add some hi-hats. These hi-hats from Chamber of Reflection by Mac DeMarco. Let's actually do something a little bit more interesting. Let's try the yellow hi-hat. Cool, that'll work. Oops. Oops. And let's make the whole thing just a lot more lo-fi by adding a glue compressor on the master. We're gonna hit the catch peaks. Wowzers. So much better. Here. Okay. Doesn't work. Maybe this is all it needs. Let's actually add a little shaker. See what that does. Maybe we can let's add the shaker. Okay, let's see. That actually might work. Let's try that. Oh God, that's horrible. Let's repitch that shit. No, really bad. Let's try the Ekali loop. Shout out to my boy Ekali, Cali, who gives a fuck? That's better. It's still not quite. These shakers, man, they're complicated. Real particular instrument. Better. Ooh, better. Let's mono that shit. Then let's go ahead and see if we can find Lordy Lord. Doing it for me. Let's actually, I'm going to sample my own track for this. I'm going to turn down my fucking voice and then let's actually see if this will work. Ooh. So let's actually go ahead and take that. We're just going to warp from here straight. It's going to be 144. I believe that was the BPM of the original. And we're going to pitch it down a couple. Add a little bit of rose on the top. Does it need that? Does it need that melodic component party beat? Maybe it needs this. Every once in a while. Just let's keep it. sadness. Just want the sound. Just want the sound to carry out. Maybe we need a little reverb there. That's what we need. Let's go ahead and start arranging this. So I'm going to drop this over into the arrangement view. I'm going to extend these out as much as I can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to decide where we want the sadness to begin. Now, you might have seen my finishing songs video where we kind of lay out the sadness throughout the day. This is more of a jolly, carefree, romp in the woods type beat. So let's go ahead and decide where we want the romp to begin. Now, I said in the last beat that I usually start off with the original sample, but maybe we can go ahead and start off with that blanket. I'm just going to create a fade in there, right clicking, hitting show fades, starting off with the blanket. And then let's just keep the sample going, and then we're gonna do a little bit of this. We're not gonna let the bass come in quite yet. Let's actually have the drums drop out for a second, and we're going to introduce the bass and the chime at the same time, and maybe we'll leave the breather sample for later in the track. So let's just go ahead and hear that sounds real quick. Oh, that's way too loud. Drop out the sample there, and we're just going to bring it back to the bass. Let's go ahead and turn down. Let's go ahead and hear that whole arrangement from the top. How are we doing so far? Is everybody still on board? Okay, so check it. Whoa, all right, party people. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. That was a blast. So today we learned a little bit about, once again, just kind of creating a beat out of a sample quickly from scratch. I always start with the sample whenever I am sampling. Then I usually add the drums, the bass, and then I kind of work myself up from the bottom. And now we're here. So we go ahead and just, once we're done with the basic 4/8 bar loop, in the session view, we quickly go ahead and copy paste all these clips by just selecting this whole scene here and then pasting it over into the arrangement view. Now, it's very important that you make the jump from session to arrangement view in the first session while you're still kind of in the sauce here, so you don't get stuck in the session view and kind of hear your same loop over and over again. You're high as fuck in your bedroom, just hearing the same loop over and over, and you're not really developing it, making it go anywhere. So it's really important that you make that jump to the arrangement view as quickly as possible. I know plenty of people who actually start with the arrangement view and then don't actually touch the session view at all, which is another very valid approach and actually kind of lends itself to making these song structure decisions earlier, which is crucial. All right, party people, so that concludes the beat making sesh of the program. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do the track feedback part of the show. So go ahead and please send your tracks over to djunderbelly@gmail.com. Thank you once again for sending out those samples. I really appreciate it. Beautiful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the track review process. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up my email. Hopefully we got something from here. So far, you guys haven't quite caught up with me yet, which is totally swaggin'. You can also ask me questions here. Portion of the sesh is over. Send your tracks in to get roasted. Okay, beautiful. All right. So let's go ahead. So roast. All right, cool. Auto Cruise. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Auto Cruise has Jornada Bilateral. Let's go ahead and oh, he's using the Ableton Live Beta. That's pretty swaggin'. right, Panda Man, solid work, great arrangement. One thing I noticed was that your kick was completely lost in the mix. So I think part of a very common reason for why this might be the case is because you might be mixing your whole track so loud that you don't actually have any room to turn up the kick because you're already clipping at 0 dB. So make sure to mix, if this is the case, make sure to mix at a quieter volume so that you have room to turn up loud instruments such as the kick and snare significantly, because those are the two elements that you really want in the forefront of your mix. Your snare was really coming through well. It was just that kick that was just getting lost completely underneath the sub bass. And also, I would challenge yourself to tighten up the arrangement here. There's a couple sections where I felt it was a little bit redundant. It was the same musical idea over and over again. And so I challenge you to kind of create a copy of the live set here and see how much you can get away with removing in terms of your arrangement and in terms of making sure that you're communicating all your musical ideas in as concise of a way as possible. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for sending that in. I'm going to close my eyes once again. Next up we have okay, woohoo music. Who do I need? Who do I need? That was very clever title there. Who do? Let's take a listen.
I've got myself together. I find myself with you. I need it. I've got myself together. I find myself with you. I need it. I find myself with you. I need it. I need it. I need it. I've got myself together. I find myself with you. I need it.
Who do I need? Wonderful, man. Really awesome progression here. Great vocal sample. The mix sounded super clean to me, super loud. All the instrumentation was good. Couple things I noticed. One thing was that the energy level of the track never really peaked for me. And I think part of the reason why is because you use your snare on the two of every beat, and you never kind of, in one of the drop sections, place the snare on the two and four. And so the amount of energy that you could be creating there by placing it on the two and four could be a lot greater and more like satisfying, like as an apex in terms of energy in the song, if you choose to include that snare there. Now, if you were going for something that was a little bit more subdued, that's totally cool too. But I felt you could have pushed it a little bit harder by placing the snare on the two and four and really kind of making that beat go boom. Another thing I noticed was that the horn samples you used, awesome progression there, but they were just a bit loud in the mix, just a little bit too overpowering. And also they seemed panned slightly to my left ear, and I feel like, and you could have those elements probably be right in the center, as well as your snare clap sound. The sound itself is really great. Also felt that it was panned to the right side of my ear, and usually I like to have the kick and snare be as mono as can be, so they really just punch through in the center of your mix. But other than that, awesome job, Hoodoo. I need. And so let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so I'm gonna kick up Accent BeatStars beat. Okay, is this like a torrent website? Like what? BeatStars. All right. So this is, I guess, the sound click of our generation. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Psh. All right, Accent Veal. Sick. Very good Drake type control at type flow. One thing I noticed here was your drums are actually too loud, which almost never happens with people sending me beats. Usually the drums are very, very quiet. Here they were just popping a bit too loud in the mix. So I would just turn your main drum rack down a couple dB to make sure it's kind of melding a little bit more with your piano and other instrumentation. Speaking of the piano, it sounds like you're using, I don't know what DAW you're using, but it sounds like you're using the preset built-in piano, which oftentimes sound really cheap. So what I would do is, as a Christmas gift to yourself, I would invest in a VST piano that sounds a little bit more realistic. So I would probably look into the Pianotech VST. I've used that a lot, and it has some really great realistic sounding piano sounds. Because if you're going to be using the piano regularly in your beats, I would recommend investing in something that sounds a little bit more realistic, a little bit more quality. Do yourself a favor. Cool, Xset, thank you for sending. I think I have time for one more. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pick one at random. And while I'm listening to this, go ahead and send some questions, some last minute questions we can touch upon at the very end of the sesh. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to Falco Marcone, if it loads. And then, yeah, so please just send me a couple questions that we can touch upon quickly at the end of the sesh. Once we're done listening to this. Falco! All right, dude. That beat was sick. There were just a couple mixing things that I noticed that if you improve upon them, the whole thing will sound a million times better. So first off, I really liked the high-end percussion there. In terms of the mixing, the bass was really, really loud. So I don't know what you're mixing on, but it's just like ridiculous. So I would turn it down like 3 or 4 dB. And I would also really crank your snare up a couple dB because it was getting lost in the mix. It was just a little too flimsy. So I would definitely turn up the snare to make sure it's matching a more even volume, having a good relationship with the kick. You want your kick and snare to be more or less the same volume. But thank you for sending that, Falco. Okay, cool. So we are nearing the end of the live stream. So a couple questions that I got. Do I master my own tracks? Yes, recently I have been mastering my own tracks. Prior to this, I was using a mastering engineer by the name of Terry Keith. He's also very, very good. I just became too cheap and I wanted to learn how to master on my own. But if you have the funds, would highly recommend reaching out to a mastering engineer to kind of polish that turd, make it real nice and shiny and professional sounding. Another question I got was, what are private lessons like? So the way my private lessons work is that through a program that I use called Zoom, I'm able to see your screen so I can see what you're doing in your DAW, and I can also hear your direct computer audio. So we just work one-on-one, and if there's any specific part of production that you're struggling with, whether it be mixing or mastering, or arrangement, or flipping samples, or getting familiar with your interface, then we can dive right into that. You would do all the work on your computer, and I would just kind of guide you along the process of exploring those techniques. And if you don't know what you want to learn, if you're a total beginner, then I also have a lesson plan for that as well. So we would just kind of open up the program. I would tell you everything, where everything is, getting you comfortable with the interface first, and then kind of working with you to accomplish the production goals that you want to set out for yourself. So if there's a specific genre or style you're going for, then I'd be happy to get you in that direction. So yeah, if you're at all interested, I do a free orientation. You can just click on that link in the video description, and yeah, just send me a message. And my schedule is very flexible, and we can set something up maybe even for next week. Another, how are private lessons when we are both awkward? It's fucking great, dude. I love to savor the awkwardness. So let's see. How long did it take me to live off making music? I've only begun living off of making music in the past like 6 months, and I've been doing music for 8 years. So it took me a long time. um, okay. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? How do I get clout dollars? I don't know. That's a great question. If I had the answer to that, I wouldn't be doing this shit. Um, when will I release more songs? So I have a song coming out on Chill Hop Music. It's that YouTube channel with chill study beats 24/7. I have a release with them coming out in 10 days, so December 13th. So get stoked for that. I've also put up my EP, Shutter, and my previous EP, Ripple, up on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or whatever. So go ahead and cop that when you get a chance, brothers and sisters. What's my favorite plugin? Right now, it's the Camel Crusher. I love the Camel Crusher. It's my favorite distortion plugin. Really crunches up the sound. Awesome compressor built in. It's a free plugin, so go ahead and cop that as well. Have I heard of Giraffage or Flamingosis? I've heard of both. I've actually opened for Giraffage. He was a very sweet boy, very tall. What distributor do I use? I use DistroKid to get my shit up on SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, etc. Highly recommend DistroKid. Super dope. How do I promote music? So the way you promote your music, and I'll probably do a video on this in the future, is to find 5 artists similar to your sound and see who's written about them or posted about them or put in their Spotify playlists or reposted them or whatever, and just contact those people directly and send them to your music. Be polite, don't spam them, and create a spreadsheet of 50 to 100 people who have posted about similar artists to you and reach out to them, and you should be well on your way. What is my opinion on Serum dominating bass music nowadays? I've gotten Serum, I've started playing with it about a month ago after being really averse to it because I thought I would sound exactly the same as everybody else. It's great, man. Serum is fucking awesome. It's very digital sounding, and it's can create really, really interesting soundscapes that haven't really been done before. And the interface is super visual. It's very, very well designed. Yeah, I think it's great. I think the reason why people think that if you use it, you'll sound exactly the same as everybody else is because you don't know how to use it and you're just using people's presets. Um, and I think if you took the time to learn how the program works, it's very easy to create something that is unique and never been heard before. So maybe we'll do a tutorial on Serum, maybe sometime in the future. Does it matter which DAW we use for my private lessons? Yes and no. So I obviously am most comfortable with Ableton, so I can do pretty much anything with that. If you're looking for program specific stuff, specific to FL or Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, I can't really help you there because I'm not an expert at those programs. However, if you're looking for more general knowledge, mixing, mastering, music theory, arrangement, stuff like that, then I'd be happy to help you regardless of what DAW you use. I've had people use FL, Bitwig, Cubase, Logic, um, Reason, bunch of different programs. So yeah, doesn't matter really what DAW you use. I've never used Sound Exchange, so I can't really help you there. Um, how do I make music good sound on all devices? So listen to it on all devices and see how it sounds there. If it sounds good on a shitty laptop, um, yeah, it takes time to listen on your track in the car, in the bathroom, on your phone, on your laptop, and shitty earbuds, whatever. But a lot of that work could also be outsourced to a mastering engineer if you just so choose. How important is music theory for me? Music theory is important for me because I started with classical piano, so I was born. I mean, born. I started with that knowledge foundation, and it really helped me a lot. However, these days I don't really um, draw on it that much. I don't think it's absolutely necessary for you to have a solid a music theory background if you want to make electronic music, especially if you want to make like dubstep or rhythm or whatever stuff that doesn't really require that much music theory. But it's really useful. It's super helpful. I'm very grateful that I was forced into doing that by my Russian parents. Uh, okay. Do I recommend copyrighting all the music you post or distribute? Yeah, sure. Why not? It's your shit. What's my IQ? 3. Um, let's see. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Favorite sample pack? I really like a Medicine sample pack and also Decap's Drums That Knock. How does being internet famous translate into me getting gigs in real life? It hasn't yet. I'm not internet famous enough for that to happen, but hopefully next year. Um, but thank you so much for coming out. Unfortunately, we're pretty much out of time. I really want to check out Sam Gellatry's live stream and see what he's doing right now. But thank you so much for hanging in there and watching. I really appreciate all you guys for watching. It's a dream. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I will see you next Sunday. Once again, if you want to sign up for private lessons, just hit the link in the description below. And then also, if you have a chance, go ahead and check out my EP on Spotify. Just search Underbelly, and I should be the first or second result. All right, party people, peace out. It was a pleasure.